Struggling with repayments. A Kiwi asks, should they sell in a down market? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, and I thought tonight we'd have a look at this post that a person put up from New Zealand, or at least it's from Personal Finance New Zealand, and the prices are regarding Kiwi housing, if they should sell now and take some profit from the property they bought and invest it elsewhere, as they're struggling with their mortgage repayments. Now, in New Zealand, house prices, well, they're just as insane as many other parts of the world, particularly, well, honestly, they're hotter than Canada and hotter than Australia. They're right up there, and it's going crazy. And their Reserve Bank has been, let's just say, very aggressive in their rate hikes. So people are certainly feeling it. So, should I sell my house in the down market? Now, it's an interesting question. I mean, are you worried about making a loss? Let's pull this apart. I'm going to have a shot of coffee first. And I'd like your opinion on this one, guys. I was having a chat to an engineer I know. He works for a big builder today. And just talking about the value of not having stress and managing your quality of life. And this could be a way to approach this situation. So, bought a house back in 2018 with my brother for around $790,000. And the house is now valued at around $980,000. Now as per homes.co.nz. Okay, so 200 grand up, not bad for a couple of years, particularly the journey that it probably breached $1 million and now it's down a little bit. So he's feeling like he's lost some potential gain. It's all psychology, isn't it? I'm wondering if I should sell and gain profit now and invest this money elsewhere. I'm struggling with mortgage repayments, and this is affecting my mental health. That's really a big part of it. I think it takes a while, the older you get, to realize what's important. And I would argue having less stress in your life and just a better mental situation is priceless. It really is priceless, and it's something a lot of people don't take into account. I haven't had the best sleep for the last 6 months because of this. Well, that alone tells me you want to get out of this. Our combined incomes are $175,000, but I'm always feeling extremely poor after all the mortgage payments and then spending money on groceries. Well, yeah, cost of living in NZ has just gone to the moon too. We've had to tighten our spending, watching every dollar we spend, and feel the pinch after refixing our rate. My brother is also thinking of going back to university to study computer science for 1 year, and this will put pressure on me to cope with the mortgage. Well, you got to sell. That alone should be enough to sell. Your brother wants to go to university. He can't afford to make the payments. You got to... You either buy the whole property off him, which you're not going to do, but this guy needs to sell. I think he's just posting here, or girl, they're posting here just to get some reassurance. We used to have a flatmate. Oh, they're living there, but he moved overseas, and it's extremely stressful to find a decent flatmate. I also need my privacy, and living with a sibling is enough for my sanity. Well, no wonder. This even makes it worse. I thought it was an investment property that they bought on the side, but no, this is they're living together in a primary residence. But here's the thing, if they walk away, it's going to be hard to get back into the market, isn't it? We're paying $1,200 a week with increased interest rates, and we're feeling the pressure. Term deposit rates are looking very attractive at the moment. I know this may not be much compared to others, but I have had to live extremely frugally to keep up with this. It's all relative, isn't it, when you see these numbers? $1,200 a week. That's a decent chunk of coin, and it's, even though it's in New Zealand funny money, which is pretty much equal to Aussie dollars right now. I can't make that joke anymore. Come on, Kiwis, come and join the Federation. We need you to up our economic complexity with your cheese. I love my Kiwi cheese. You can't beat it. For those of you that don't know, the reference I'm making there, New Zealand is actually a more economically advanced country than Australia. And they didn't join that. There's an opportunity for them to join the Federation. They were one of the colonies that was considering joining the Federation of Australia. And they didn't. But they still can. There's still a chance. Come on, guys. It'll up our tick. Anyway. So $1,200 a week. I mean, that's decent money, guys, that you're paying on a mortgage. You need to get a roommate in there. If we do sell our house, we'll be moving back to our parents' place or potentially renting for about $500 a week. What if they kept the house, rented it out, and both moved back to their parents' place? Why aren't they thinking about doing that? Unfortunately, my parents aren't able to help with the repayments as they've just retired. They're helping by giving you a place to stay. Move there. They have suggested selling the property to invest elsewhere, such as funds and stocks. I'm trying to think of other options, but need some advice if possible. Thank you. So, I mean, why aren't they doing the whole Macca's thing of, the meme? Is it even a meme? It's an Australian way of life. Living at home for rent-free and investing in a property. I mean, that would be one suggestion. The idea of selling and getting out and having a pile of cash there earning you some passive income invested in shares is probably a really good idea. We'd probably sleep easier at night for that one. But you may regret not having that property. But there are costs associated with it too. So let's have a look at some of the responses. Can you move back to your parents and rent out your house? That way you get the best of both worlds. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would assume if they could do that. I agree with this. Move back in with your parents and rent the house. Hang on to your property. You may find it'll be almost impossible to get back into the housing market easily again. The prices may go down slightly more, but they will absolutely go up again. This is simply the way it works. Now that you're a homeowner, do everything you can to stay in. In the meantime, get yourself and get a flatmate in to help. Or get over yourself and get a flatmate in to help. Yeah, that's the reality of it too. Get over yourself and get a flatmate in. I've thought about this, but I'm worried house prices will keep dropping, and I'm thinking of cashing out now and entering the market later again. Oh, shit, they're trying to time the market. They're trying to time the market. They're trying to time the market. Oh, I don't know. See, this is the problem. It's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. If you... Could it really crash in NZ as much? I mean, it could. You could see a substantial correction, but they're up 200 grand. A 200 grand shave? Would it even matter, though? If you got the property, you want to hold on to it. You've got that as a valuable asset. If I get my deposit back, the plan is to invest in shares and funds. I'm trying to work out the best situation. Shares and funds are highly volatile. Your investment horizon should be a minimum of 5 to 10 years, as in the value could drop and stay low, and in the meantime take 5 to 10 years to break even or turn a meager profit. It sounds like you're conflicted by the grass is always greener. Personally, I'm pessimistic about stocks in the short term. I think we're in for another shock in the 6 to 18 months, which could wipe out what gains you think you could make. I mean, everyone... I'm cynical of these predictions all the time. I mean, for me, investing in stocks, I look at, right now, dividend-generating ETFs, real estate investment trusts in sectors that are still going to exist. I was looking at ones that own warehouses that are rented by Amazon. There you go. Things like that. Or companies that are not going anywhere, that are going to outlast your lifetime. And then forget about it. What is it? I've got Self-Wealth. And they've got, it's the whole social media investing bullshit. And they've got a little chart going, you're in the top 18% of investors for the year. And you know why? I did nothing. I dollar cost averaged into some stuff, into some AGL shares when they went right down, and I dollar cost averaged in because this is I was earning little bits of money here and then, throwing it in the market. And now it's, up 50%, and oh boy. So there you go. It's time in the market, isn't it? Not when you enter the market. That's what it is. So time in, not timing. So house prices will rise again, but we don't know when. Could be 5+ years. So I would move in with family or rent somewhere and rent your house out until then. But if your issue is it's affecting your mental health, then it may be best to sell it and just sit on the cash in a decent savings account. I would suggest not investing it in shares, as you're likely to be back here in a few months with the same question, but with the word house replaced with shares. Shares are a lot more volatile than the housing market. Will only increase your stress watching your money go up and down in the middle of a recession. Well, yeah, I mean, if we hit a recession, there's going to be some interesting times. And it sounds like this OP is young and is getting some first experiences here and will gain some, shall we say, mental fortitude through this process. Shares are a lot more liquid than a house, easily convertible to cash. Also, OP doesn't need to dump $900K into shares. He can invest a fraction of that, so he still has enough available cash. Yeah, he has a mortgage. He won't get 900 grand. Yeah, 85% of the house is mortgage. So they're not going to. He's just wanting to get his deposit back. I don't know why he's not moving home with his brother, moving home to the folks, and not expecting them to help with the mortgage repayments. But surely they'll let you live there for free or for bloody low rent. That's them helping you with the mortgage repayments right there. And then keeping the house, holding onto it and paying it off. Renting the whole thing out, not just to roommates or maybe 3 roommates. Get some bunk beds in there. Really maximize the money you can make. The Australian way. Maybe these Kiwis aren't ready to join the Federation, guys. Maybe they're not. Where's the post about adding 5 bunk beds to each room and renting it out to international students? Come on, Kiwis. I'm only half joking because that does happen in Australia, guys. Oh, boy. I bet you when I'm long dead, and we've got the house here all done, the kids inherited it there, they will rent out every room. Because we're the international student suburbs here, we're in the Chinese part of the city. So, boom. We'll see. We've got to watch them after we pass. Let me know. So, stress, while I agree with that, we'll keep going. House prices will 100% rise again to even pre-peak levels. It will just take time. Yeah, but he's not worried about... Now, are they worried about losing money? Maybe. It seems like they're scared. What's more is just the stress. This seems like the stress that is eating at them. It'll just take time. Interest rates will drop. Take a few years of struggle over long-term gains, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's it. What you're talking about is trying to time the market, which is very risky. I'd do whatever it takes to hang on to the house. Interest rates won't be this high forever. Just got to ride it out. So I've thought about this, but I'm worried house prices will keep dropping, and I'm thinking of cashing out now and entering the market again later. This is the problem. They may not be able to enter the market again later. If I get my deposit back, oh boy, the plan is to invest in shares and funds. I'm trying to work out the best solution. So they're worried about losing their deposit. What's the time frame here? You buy one of these things, you buy a property, you got to sit on it for 20, 30 years. Maybe not. First, I think you need to provide a cost breakdown because something isn't adding up here. My partner and I are looking to re-enter the property market later this year, and our potential repayments on a $1 million property are less than $1,200 a week. To put it in perspective, an $800K loan at 6.49% is $1,165 a week repayment. So your initial loan must have been around $700K, assuming a 10% deposit. Assuming absolutely nothing off the principal is paid off, just interest only, you would have to be on 8.1% interest right now to be paying $1,200 a week. This leads me to believe you've either taken out more money on the mortgage to be spent on other things beside the initial home loan, increasing the size of the loan, or had a low initial deposit and paid off zero principal in 5 years. You've had the mortgage already. You need to clarify the situation here because that doesn't add up at all. Secondly, I also cannot fathom how you have no money left over each week on 175,000 household income, even assuming you're both still continuing to KiwiSaver. Oh, what? Contributing? And both have student loans. Your household take-home pay should be in the region of $2,100 per week. So take $1,200 out for the mortgage. How are you not able to save on near $1,000 a week with just food, bills, and petrol to pay? I was talking to another mate the other day about, he's about my age, about, cost of living and expenses and this type of thing, and how, I've really scaled back the cost for my business. And he's going, yeah, his biggest cost is fruit. Because I'm saying our biggest is food. And he was complaining that the wife goes and buys all the fruit for the kids and they just hoover it up. It's gone. It's gone. And I said, well, we've got a Indian-owned 24-hour fruit shop with all the B-grade fruit that doesn't look pretty, that's dirt cheap up the road. And he's already going to his version of that in his town. So there you go. But food is expensive. But, I mean, $1,000 a week, you should be able to live off. You should find a way. Yes, maybe you can't afford a trip to Europe every year, but that's absolutely no reason why you should not be able to afford to buy yourself new clothes from time to time on that kind of money. All of this leads me to believe you either have some other forms of personal debt you're paying off, credit card, personal loans, car loans, etc., or you're extremely poor at budgeting and are wasting your money frivolously on things like takeaway, eating out. Obviously, there are other things that can be going on, like sending money to family, but without a breakdown of your expenses budget, it's hard to actually help you. In summary, there are plenty of things I'll be looking at addressing and changing first before selling the house. Something stinks somewhere in terms of where your money is going, and that needs to be looked at first. I can understand things for most homeowners are tight right now, but there are plenty with larger mortgages on less income still managing. And on top of that, it sounds like you haven't been saving, traveling, etc. for a few years now. What on earth is going on with your money? You couldn't save when rates were down at 2.5%. As a homeowner during that time on a 700K property, it was literally cheaper than renting, and was absolutely stashing money away every week. Okay. It's the definition of champagne taste on budget. And okay, where's the reply? Why didn't that reply appear? Hang on, let me bring it up here on the original. Okay, we'll have a look here. It's easy to judge like this. My spending is pretty average. Oh, it got negative or upvoted. I have hobbies like snowboarding, but that costs less than 10K. $10K a year. $10K a year. Oh, less than $10K a year on a hobby. On a hobby. Come on. We'll cut back on the snowboarding trips. There you go. Done. That's $10,000 that you found. Takeaways once a week. Well, no, get rid of that once a week. That's $50 a week. Probably 100 if there's two of you eating and getting beer. There, that's gone. There you go. I'm not judging. I'm asking you to break down expenses because they literally don't add up. How are you $1,200 a week on a $780,000 house when I can go and take an $800,000 loan right now on a $1 million house and pay less than that? Even this comment right here. How about you giving up your 10K a year snowboarding hobby for 1 or 2 years until things stabilize before selling the house? Why is the most drastic option your first option versus cutting out the excess you can do without? Yeah, I'm gonna like that one up there. And this person's young. This person is young. 10K bloody snowboarding hobby. Oh, come on. I'd keep it. You need to own your own house for retirement anyway. So why lose 3% getting out, another 3% getting back in? If you take a hard look at your budget and get a flatmate, hopefully you can feel a bit better about the situation. I'm also curious as you get such a high repayment on a 790 grand house. Maybe they borrowed more money. Maybe it was a few 10 grand for 5 years extra, equity mate for those Japan snowboarding trips. Can you go interest only? Can you rent out the house? Let's see if OP has any more responses here. Because this is nuts. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's have a bit of a talk about this one, guys. Poor OP, original poster. It sounds like they're going to learn some valuable life lessons. And it looks like fear is guiding them. I mean, what I'd do what you can to keep the house, move out, move home. If you can, move in with your parents. That's a privilege that a lot of people don't have. Take advantage of it. Move back home, hold onto the property, rent it out. Use that to take the edge off repayments. 10 grand a year. But less than 10 grand, it's probably only 9. It sounds like they need to sit down, do a proper budget, and learn from this experience. What do you reckon, guys? What would you do? As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Check out Heise BIM or Heise Does for other content I create. If you're a fan and want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links via Pocket Squares, or call me if you need an architect. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now. Oh boy, I can't give up my snowboarding trips.